So I'm Michael Odling-Smee. I'm a director of XML Solutions. I've sort of got a very technical background, but set up XML Solutions along with my business partner as a result of being part of the central team on the BT Spine program. And ever since then, we've been involved in anything from integration architecture through to enterprise architecture, through to working with Leeds teaching hospitals on a frontline forms application. So we do a whole gamut of stuff. We sort of even worked out in Singapore doing their 5-year strategy for the Ministry of Health in Singapore. So we've been about, worked in NHS Wales, NHS England as well. So Leeds came to us to ask us about advice, because they knew that we'd worked on forms products before, so they were asking advice about how to approach open source and forms in particular around having a module, an eForms module that formed part of their overall system in Leeds, because Leeds are very much about open source. And we've been involved in open source projects. We've got some of our own open source projects which we've had for the last 5-10 years in fact. So we've been very much pro open source, and we also have the in-depth knowledge of healthcare in the UK and how to deliver open source to the NHS. As a commercial company, maybe I'll eat my words, but to me it seems that open source is important on many levels. At a very simple level, I think it is that if the NHS needs to pay for development, it should only do it not necessarily just once, because there will always be competing products, but as few times as possible. Whereas with any extensions to proprietary products, it's often quite a negotiation to get it into the product life cycle, but it's also not necessarily true that that's immediately available free of charge for the rest of the NHS. So that's why I think it's important for the NHS. For me, myself, I've always been around the sort of standards angle and open standards, so I think open source is absolutely the way of, open source and open standards don't have to go hand in hand, but they go very well together. So for me, open source is a very useful tool to enabling those open standards. Obviously, XML Solutions has a website like anyone else, so if you go to www.xml-solutions.com, that's our corporate address. If you want to have a look about any of these form solutions, just go to formsforhealth.com, and you'll be able to see both our patient-facing platform for forms and also the care platform that is more for the NHS or social care to use, that we've been developing with Leeds.